My name is Nicholas Holtløy. Today's date is October 28th, 2024, and I'm from Denmark. My GitHub name is Nickhold1, and the edX name is Nickhold1 as well. My topic is the Microsoft vulnerability discovery called HMSurf, CVE 2024-44-133, related to the edX program in the way that the data and system security problem that with information from the course could be solved using methods that edX have shown us. So the problem involves the macOS Safari browser preferences library and Safari browser. So the outer ring is our hardware, and then we have macOS and we have Safari browser and the library for the Safari browser. And on macOS, within the library concerning privacy regarding Safari browser specifically, Microsoft discovered the vulnerability that TCC, which is transparency, consent, and control, normally protects files, critical files, from being exploited. And TCC normally takes a prefix that is called, or a prefix that is com.apple.private. But Microsoft discovered that parsing in .tcc.allow to the prefix completely bypasses the TCC and gives a possible attacker direct access to the files on the device. And targeting per site preferences.db using an editor like a DSCL, Dynamic Systems Command Line Utility, to change the file to completely remove the authentication for websites and other applications, to ask permission for the use of sensitive resources. So normally Safari browser or other apps would ask the user to allow the website to use the camera, and maybe use it all the time or don't ask again. And then that information would be parsed into the per site preferences.db. But targeting the per site preferences.db, the attacker could change the file to completely remove the authentication for websites and other applications, to ask permissions for the use of the sensitive resources, and thereby this could give attackers access to data like browse pages, device's camera, device's microphone and location, and etc. This attack could only be possible, though, if the attacker already has access to the files or the user's files through malware that could be installed on the device through physical access to the device, or by social engineering and or phishing by making the user download the malware with, let's say, a picture of a cat from Google. So other than receiving valuable data about the user, the attacker could implement fake ads or warnings, tricking the user to download even more malicious software, or by redirecting the user to malicious sites all the time to gather more valuable information, or even by, say, warning the user that the user has a virus and trying to make them buy antivirus to try and get them to input credit card details, if not already found through safe data on the browser if it's not encrypted. Or maybe even implementing these malicious malware or malicious activity on other apps as well, if they take the per site preferences.db as well, or if they target the other critical files within the library. So Microsoft implemented a behavioral monitoring by behavioral analytics and machine learning to detect anomalous modifications of the files. Apple addressed it by removing the vulnerable code with an update. But this could be addressed with methods mentioned in the Introduction to Cybersecurity course by maybe if we say that if we look at the macOS again, so if they already have bypassed the TCC, maybe if we said that once a modification of a critical file is detected, the user would be prompted for a passkey information. So the information in the library would be protected by a passkey. Uh, Once the passkey has been confirmed, the passkey unlocks access to an encrypted file that we see down here that holds a private key that is normally protected by a hardware security module. And the hardware security module is for Apple to be able to access this on devices that they hold that maybe a user does not have. But other than that, than the HSM, the only way to decrypt the file is through the passkey confirmation. So using an API hosted by Apple for secure passkey input, the user unlocks the encrypted file that reveals the private key to sign a message holding user ID and the passkey confirmation that using a secure channel like HTTPS or TLS sends the signed message to Apple servers, and Apple verifies the signed message and confirms that it's the actual user trying to modify the file, or let's say modify, but trying to let a website use the camera. So once the file has been modified and the confirmation is through, the site or the per site preferences.db would be changed, and it returns to the passkey again. So the file, the private key file, would once again be encrypted, and you would have to input another passkey confirmation for the Safari browser to, let's say, use microphone um, on the device. So the pros for this is that if the TCC is bypassed, the files are protected by an extra layer of security. But yeah, and remote attacks are being minimized through the hardware-based security. Uh, so if TCC is bypassed, they would have to have information about your face or your fingerprint, for example, and try to get past another layer, making it more, let's say, time-consuming or less easy for the attacker to actually go through with the attack. And it still allows the user to modify or let certain apps or websites have automated or granted access to the resources on the phone or the device or the computer. The cons are that it's a major modification of the system, so Apple would have to use a lot of time to implement this. The responsibility is with Apple and producing a master key that only unlocks with the HSM. So the HSM would be a master key to the devices, could be concerning to the users. And it would be a slower verification process of letting apps and websites use sensitive resources, though being more secure, but a slower and more maybe a little bit tedious process for the users. Thank you.